New Garnier Men Acno Fight Gentle Cleanser. ये है gentle on skin, tough on pimples.
One of those scores, 164, you never quite know, and that's why we'll break it down for you on ESPN Cricket for Timeout, powered by Garnier Men. Sahibzada Farhan, top scorer in the tournament, top scorer in this game with 63. Three guys got 20s after that. Shadab's was really quick, Fakar's was okay, Babar's was slow. So that gives us plenty to discuss on our halftime show. Liam Dawson got 3, and there is so much to unpack at Palikele, where we've seen 225 some days, 146 on others. So let's ask Faf du Plessis and Gaurav Sundararaman, and we'll hear from Urooj Mumtaz, who has joined just in time. I think she was waiting to see if that second run would be completed, because that would have meant a perfect prediction of 165.
Well done, Urooj. Well done.
164 for 9.
Thanks, Faf.
You win it. You win it.
Faf, unfortunately, Raunak gives us absolutely nothing for getting these right, so it's okay.
I think you should just invoice him for being correct.
Wow, I take that.
Let me just state for the record here that the whole point of the original invoicing is because I expect you guys to be correct more often than not. But let's get down to business. Now, how do we feel about that score after watching the surface, after watching Farhan bat? Is that advantage Pakistan, Urooj? Let me start with you, or is this game in the balance?
I think winning the toss, batting first, runs on the board, always important. I did feel there was a period, sort of just out of the power play, 4 odd over, 5 odd over period, Farhan and Babar, where they did not score a single boundary, went at about 4 runs in over, maybe 15 runs lost. But if you look at England, they probably gave away those 10 or 15 runs in the field. So I think it's a good score with Pakistan spinners, and if Shaheen can be at his best, it should be a good one to defend.
Very good. I'm going to come to that phase in just a moment. Faf, how do you feel about this after looking at that innings? Who is the happier dugout, you think?
Yeah, we always say don't judge a pitch until both teams have batted on it. So looking at for that first innings, it looked like a decent pitch. Proper batting. There were some good scores, some good shots. So guessing now, it looks like it's going to be just not enough. But they'll have to bowl well.
If it is not enough, we have to go to perhaps that phase that Urooj speaks of, where suddenly there was almost a slowdown, and once again it's going to be a hot topic come tonight, because Babar Azam will be under the spotlight. But let's go to that later. For now, what patterns have you picked up in that innings that scream out?
Yeah, so actually I felt that they were wanting to set a platform and then try to maximize in the depth. And if you actually see, they lost 5 for 38 in the last 4. So that's something which I think they didn't expect. I think the platform was fine. They were 126 after 16. You expect to score at least 50 of the last 4 generally. That would put them at 176, which I think was par or maybe above par. But with Pakistan bowling, I always say that, anything above 150, 160, they're going to be always in the game. So they would have preferred 10 more runs, and these are big fields. So a couple of early wickets, I think this is a very good score.
Yeah, I mean, you take that 126 in the 16th, you can add another 14 in the next. So at 140, then you're hoping that in the last 3 overs with 5 wickets in hand, you can go at least at 10s. Yeah. 170, even though it's 1 hit away, it could come down to that kind of game. Do you echo that sentiment that while they may look at that scorecard and think, oh, Babar Azam once again has struggled, but actually there might have been a role that to lay a foundation that partnership did at that point, if you were in that dugout?
I actually thought he started really well today. I think 10 of 6, some good intent. At that stage, you felt like he did exactly what was needed. The partnership was building. We spoke about partnerships before the game. It looked like that was the partnership that could set it up. And then it slowed down a little bit.
Yes.
And then if you look at his score now, you go 100 strike rate, probably a little bit low. So there was just maybe 1 or 2 boundaries in there that would have made it be a very good innings. But that last 5 overs certainly, because from an England's perspective, they walk out of that field feeling like they've got momentum. They feel like they've done everything right that last 5 overs. They've saved 20 runs of where it should have been, and you just feel in the change room like that optimistic, well done boys, let's go and chase this down.
You almost forget the first 15, 16 and you think, we've done really well.
It's a big thing. It's a mental part of the game, so that everyone claps hands when you come in, everyone's upbeat. So you just feel more positive when you're going out to bat.
You were going to say something, Jess?
Yeah, so I think just to echo that point, it's the timing of his dismissal, right? Always that's a very, very tough thing in T20s. You're trying to set a platform. If that ball had gone for the 6, it would have been 31 of 24. rather than being 25 or 24. Sometimes when you start setting up the whole anchor thing, when you start setting up an innings, if you're not able to take it on when you actually start accelerating, it looks really feels like you've let the team down. So it just boils down to that. I think
Yeah,
in
it's
this
two
particular
boundaries.
game.
It's two boundaries, and then you're looking really good. So it's a small margin, but unfortunately, when people are talking about it, that's going to be the focus.
Because you think he's good enough to get those two boundaries.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. Anyway, we'll come to that later. But let's talk about the guy who did get the boundaries. 7 4s and 2 6s to Sahibzada Farhan Urooj, 63 of 45. In a way, Jofra Archer had him in a little bit of discomfort, but he overcame that, and he's now showing some real pedigree, if I can say. It's not ordinary opposition or lesser level bowling. Sahibzada Farhan, important, really important for Pakistan.
Yeah, it just shows that he is now coming of age. We spoke about this repeatedly in terms of obviously lesser quality or slightly more inexperienced oppositions where he's got those big scores and yet to be really tested. And I thought he showed glimpses of real character and sort of that positive mindset, which is backed by the level of skill that he has in that Asia Cup when he became the first Pakistani batter to hit Bumrah for a 6. Again, I've said this before, not that 1 6 or 2 6s are a measure of someone in entirety, but I think he's just shown glimpses and he's willing to convert. He does it. It's not like he's getting outs in 20s and 30s. He gets the 50, doesn't slow down at any point. At any given time, he's always looking to attack the first ball of the over. Still, in between all of that, still looking to run hard between the wickets as well. And somewhere along the game, it was, I think, Namibia where the surface was slightly tricky. He spoke about it at the post-match as well, that yes, we realized the surface was slightly tricky and allowed himself to give himself time. So it wasn't just one gear through and through. There's a little bit of smart that comes in his batting as well, which is a great attribute to have.
We're going to have more detailed chat on Farhan at the end of the game. Chase is going to start. So I want to make this quick about the spinners and how big a role they could have here. Liam Dawson, 3 for 24, very good Faf. Abdul Rashid maybe slightly expensive, though under 8s or something you would take. What do we know about spin right now? Because Pakistan are going to rely on their spin attack if they are to make a game of this.
It's the thing that is their secret weapon this World Cup. They've bowled really well. Their spinners has been accurate. They've been consistent. So they would be licking their lips. It's the kind of surface where you think spinners will play an important role. So
it is looking like that.
I think so. Just looking at the way that England bowled. I mean, Adil towards the end there bowled a few slower ones to try and get, we call it pole hunting at the back of the over there, which is normal for leg spinners. They want wickets. So looking at the figures, it certainly tells a story that spin wasn't the easiest to score on the night.
A number of these England batters will be playing Usman Tariq for the first time.
Very interesting bowler. I promise you. Obviously, I've seen the World Cup. A lot of people are talking about his action. Batting against him the first time, for me, batting is about rhythm. And for most players out there, you want to feel your bat tap. You want to line up a certain way. He comes to the crease. You've made your little pre-movement, and then you just wait. So it's so difficult to get a rhythm against him because he gets to the crease and then he pauses. So whatever you do in your pre-movement, you are so early and you're feeling like you're ahead of the ball all the time. So what you then have to do is do everything later. So your trigger movement or your small press or whatever you want to do, it has to happen so much later in order for you to feel like you have that rhythm. So very difficult guy if you haven't faced him for the first time.
You've set it up nicely. We'll have a more detailed chat about this post-match. But since the chase is underway and all eyes on Joss Buttler, we're still waiting for the real Joss Buttler to stand up in this World Cup. But let's get predictions for now, and these are two huge points. Remember, Urooj Mumtaz is red hot, or rather pink hot, with her predictions tonight. So, Urooj, why don't you kick us off?
I think Pakistan wins this very close. 5 runs might be the difference.
Ooh,
What a
5-run
What a
win
gun.
for Pakistan. This should be fun to talk about then. So, England 160 is what Urooj says. G-Stats.
I think Pakistan will win this fairly comfortably.
2-0 fairly comfortably. So that
What's that fairly comfortable?
plus 20?
Yeah, around
20.
15-20 runs.
15 to 20 or more. Okay, that's big. 2 calls. Faf du Plessis, are you
I'm
getting
going England to win 6 wickets down.
England to win 6 wickets down, and that's reasonably comfortable, not like one of those last ball
No,
chases.
not really comfortable. Like last
19th,
over, last
20th
over, yeah.
over.
Last over.
Okay, so England to win this by 4 wickets for Faf. And now for the foolish prediction.
Tie, super over, double super over.
You know what? I'm calling it. We're going to see a super over in England to win. Okay, let's put it that way. Let's put it that way. Let's see how it goes. Thank you very much, Urooj, Faf, and Gaurav. We are going to have a lot to talk about at the end of this game, given how important it is for England. If they win, they qualify for the semis. Pakistan, it's going to be really hard if they drop these 2 points. So all to play for, and we'll pick up the conversation at the end. In fact, I will hold on to the conversation because Shaheen Shah Afridi has got Phil Salt first ball, and Urooj is gone already. So I've noticed now she jumps off the link very early before my closing link is even over.
That's they picked him, they backed him, the experience, and he's just gone across Salt there. What a way to start!
What a selection! Mike Hesson right now sitting in that dugout going, "That's what I'm talking about." So Phil Salt gone. Anyone wants to revisit their prediction? Faf, no, happy sticking to it.
I can't change it. That's you can't sit on the fence. You have to back it. So Butler has to come to the party now.
He has to because he's lost Salt. Pakistan on top. Let's see how this game goes. Join us for post-match analysis. ESPN Riggin for Timeout, powered by Guardian.
New Garnier Men Acnofite Gentle Cleanser. ये है gentle on skin, tough on pimples.